Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm telling you a story today, so hope you enjoy. If you do, please hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Hope you enjoy. Bye. What goes around comes around. They say never to burn your bridges, because you may need to cross them later on. For one young girl, she is about to discover how true those words are. Her name is Hannah McAllister, and she is starting to get into a crossroads where whichever path she chooses could be the wrong one. What path will she choose? You're about to find out. At the age of 17, young Hannah thought she knew it all. Whenever her parents or older brother and sister tried to tell her something, it would always go in one ear and out the other. She would do what she wanted to, no matter who got hurt from the choices she made. Little did she realize that the choice she was about to be faced with could ultimately take everything away from her. It is 1992 in the town of Hawkinsfield, Massachusetts. Hannah started the day just like every other. She'd leap out of the bed, slipping on her clothes for the day, and then slide down the railing of her stairs to the kitchen with her backpack in hand. She'd get in the cupboard, grabbing a Pop-Tart, and then walk out of the house and get on the bus for school. Your typical morning for her. Today was going to be different though, much different than what she could have imagined. Once her bus pulled in front of her high school and opened the doors, every kid on the bus stood up and made their way off to the bus, including Hannah. When the final kid got off the bus, it pulled away as the kids began to go into the school before the bell rang. Hannah got inside the door, and there Meredith Hall was waiting for her. She was her best friend ever since the first grade. Meredith, however, had a crush on Billy McAdams, who just so happened to have a crush on Hannah. It was a very interesting twist of fate. Hannah made it to her locker and put away the books that she didn't need quite yet. Before she could shut her locker door, Billy walks up to her and asks, "Hey girl, how are you? I know that the dance is soon to be here, and was wondering, would you be my date for it?" Hannah took no time to decide. She looked at Billy and says, "Of course I will go with you, Billy." "What kind of friend are you?" Meredith chimed in behind her. Hannah spun around fast and caught Meredith in the corner of her eye when she raised her hand and smacked her. "I thought we were friends. Boy, did you have me fooled. Go ahead, Hannah, and go with Billy to the dance, but don't count on me to ever be your friend again," Meredith says in a mean voice. With tears in her eyes, Meredith turns around and walks off. I run off after her and almost catch up with her right when the bell rings and she went into her class. I had to make my way to mine. I am already late. I make my way to class and take my seat. During class, I kept thinking of how hurt Meredith was. I have never seen her hurt like this. Did I do the right thing in making sure I had a date for the dance and would not have to go alone? All the other boys were too shy to ask me. It's not my fault that Billy asked me. I know that. I know that I may have said yes to him, but I had other plans that would surprise even myself. Meanwhile, back in Meredith's class, Billy passes her a note. She opens up the note and reads it to herself. She turns herself around in her seat and smacks Billy. Mr. Glamden raises his voice to her and sends her straight to the office. I cannot believe what Billy has planned. I know she may be used to getting her way, no matter who it hurts, but she does not deserve what he has planned for her. I finally get into the office and take a seat, waiting for my turn. I'm sure I'm going to be given detention or something. I do not get what is up with me today. I've never been one to stand up to anyone before. First, I stood up to Hannah, and now the guy I have a crush on. The class bell goes off, and I get my bag and make my way into the hall. I have to find Meredith. I have to make things right somehow. Sadly, she's not at her locker or in the restroom taking a breather. It's lunchtime, so maybe she's already in the lunchroom. She was pretty upset with me earlier. I am sure I am probably the last person she wanted to see. I make my way to the cafeteria and there is no sign of her. I hope she is okay. I hope nothing bad happened. I know she shared her class with Billy, so that could not have been easy for her to do after what just happened before. I go to our usual table and take my seat and wait for her. Once I get my lunch tray, it's pizza bread Friday today. My favorite! I sit there the entire time without a sign from her or Billy. I thought for sure one of them was going to show up, but they did not. I was a little confused and a whole lot worried. She and I never been apart for this long except for when school is over. Even then, however, we would spend our days talking to one another on our iPhone. I barely touched my food when the bell rang for lunch to be over and it was time to go to the third period. I scoop my seat in, empty my tray in the trash, and return it into the dirty dish pile. I then exit the cafeteria and go to my class. The entire time during class, I could not shake but be worried over my friend. I heard her, I'm sure, from what she thought to have been a betrayal. What she does not realize was when I said yes to Billy, I did it for her. I planned to cancel on him at the last minute and let her take my place. I had it all worked out in my head and there was no way my plan could fail. I put a lot of thought into it in such a small amount of time. See, Meredith, she's always had trouble talking to boys, especially the ones she liked and had crushes on. That, however, came easy to me. For years, I tried to get her to come out of her shell, and this was another attempt at that. I think it sort of worked. She did finally stick up for herself and let me know in front of everyone how she felt. I need to find her and talk with her. It is very important. Meanwhile, back in the office, Miss Hall, I do hope that you can explain yourself. Otherwise, you will have a detention and Saturday school for a month. Sir, please forgive me. I won't let it happen again, she said as tears rolled down her face, smearing her makeup. With this being the first time that you got into trouble, I'm going to let you off with a warning. However, young lady, I don't want to see you in my office again under these circumstances. Understood? Yes, sir, I understand, Meredith says, drying her eyes. Fourth period is about to start. I know you missed your lunch, so please make your way to the cafeteria and get yourself something to eat, Meredith. I can hear your tummy rumbling. Also, I will speak to your teachers and explain the reason for your absence. Thank you, sir, she said with a warm smile. I promise I will do better and I will try my best to stay out of trouble, she says while getting out of the chair and heading out of his office. The bell rings, ending the third period, and I make my way to my last class for the day. I thought for sure I would have a date for the dance before now, since the big dance is tonight. I still am worried about Meredith and hope that she is doing okay. We were supposed to ride the bus to my house to get into our dresses for the dance tonight and have my parents take us, but I'm not sure if that's still going to happen or not. I wished the boys would not be so scared to ask me out. Something needs to change, or maybe I need to change. Maybe the way I have been all my life is not the right way for a person to be. I think to myself right as the bell rings, dismissing us from class and school. I go to my locker, getting out my homework assignment for the weekend, and make my way to my bus. I get on and take my seat and leave a seat for Meredith in hopes she will join me. Moments later, Meredith comes in and sits beside me. Girl, we have to talk. When we get to your house, I need to share with you some things, she says while the bus takes off out of the parking lot. My parents went to your house earlier and got your dress and makeup, and everything will be waiting for us when we get to my house. Meredith looks at me a little sad, but nods her head in agreement. I'm sorry, Mare, for accepting Billy's request to take me to the dance, I say in a soft voice while wiping a tear from my eye. Meredith looks up at me as she wipes the tear from my eye. I'm sorry for smacking you, Hannah. Please forgive me, Meredith says. I nod my head yes. Finally, the bus stops right outside my house. Meredith and I stand up and make our way toward the front of the bus and then get off. We make our way to my door and open up my door, and we go to my room. I shut the door as we start to get undressed to get cleaned up for the dance. We took turns putting up each other's hair for the dance. Meredith chose to wear a light blue sequin dress for tonight, while I chose a cream sequin gown with glitter around the bottom and the neckline of my gown. Tonight was sure to be special. While we were getting dressed, Meredith shared to me the note that Billy gave her during class. It had me very upset. But then Meredith chimed in and says, "You do not have to worry. I will not let you get humiliated that way in front of our school. You do not deserve that, Hannah. I'm going to make sure their prank happens to me instead." I think to myself, what a great friend I have in her. But it's time I show her how much her friendship means to me. She's always showing me how important I am to her, but I don't believe I showed her how much she means to me. That's about to change. After my parents take several pictures of us, we go out to the car and make our way to the dance. We make it to the school as Billy comes up to the car and opens up mine and Meredith's door. Both of us get out and I put my arm in Billy's. The three of us go into the gym and all of our school is there dancing away. We make our way to a table and sit down. Billy goes and gets Meredith and me some punch. When he returns, a slow song comes on. I nearly crawled out of my skin. It's my favorite song, Amy Grant's That's What Love Is For. I loved this song ever since I first heard it this year. Billy asked me to dance. I look over at Meredith and she shakes her head telling me it's okay that I dance with him. I stand up from my chair. Billy and I make our way to the dance floor and I put my arms around his neck while he rests his on my sides. We start to dance slowly while I look up into his eyes, trying to hide how upset his plan has made me. I'm not going to have my friend take something I have coming to me. That is for sure, I think to myself. Right after the song ends, Billy leans down and whispers in my ear, "I have a surprise for you, doll." I work something out with our DJ, he says. Then the DJ interrupts the mix and says, "Will Billy McAdams and Hannah McAllister please come to the center of the room for a special surprise?" At that moment, I look over at Mer as she jumps to her feet. I wave to her to sit back down. She shakes her head no and makes her way over to Billy and me. Before I knew it, Billy let go of my hand and walked away. Then a whole bucket of chocolate syrup fell from the rafters and onto my hair and my brand new dress. I stand there as quiet as I can while the whole school points their fingers at me and laughs. Billy walks up to me, running his finger down my cheek, and then puts it in his mouth. "Tastes good," he chuckles before walking away. Meredith hangs up the phone and comes closer to me. "Hannah, are you alright?" she asked while in shock. "Yes, Mayor, I'm okay. I deserved this for how mean I have been to those around me. I finally learned my lesson. I am truly sorry if I ever made you doubt my friendship with you. I will not be selfish anymore for any reason and will care more for other feelings too," I say softly with chocolate dripping down my face and dress. "Let's go home and get you cleaned up," Mayor says with a smile. She puts her fingers through mine, not caring they're covered too, and we exit the gym. We get to my parents' car and get in. My parents look at me stunned. "Don't ask," I say while Dad starts the car and we drive home. We finally get home and I go into the bathroom and take off my ruined dress, putting it into the hamper and continue to get all the chocolate off me. Billy's words still haunting me. As I shake in anger at him, I think to myself while soaking in the tub, the things you put out into this world will eventually find their way back to you. Lesson learned. The end. Jöel J. Gerber, all rights reserved. Author's notes. The things you put out into this world will eventually find their way back to you. That is why it is always good to treat others the way you wish to be treated. If you put good out, then good will come back to you. However, if you put negative things into this world, those will eventually come back to you as well. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for this week's video. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button and smash that subscribe button, because if you did, it would really mean a lot. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Bye!